Good day once again, fellow Africans. We speak again under the name of the People's Movement for African Unity, an organization that has been tasked to build a new Africa. In several of our videos, messages, we have been speaking of African unity as if it is only political or economical. And that's where our mind focuses the most. But we are forgetting the most important aspect of our life, socio-cultural and spiritual harmony. I don't want to talk so long about it here, but I will mention, I will touch few points. Several times we have complained about violence in our society, more especially against women. But in most cases, we have not taken our time to ask why those violence and try to see how or which measures we can put in place to tackle that violence. Let us be honest to acknowledge that every part of our body, every organism in our body works, does its job. We use our mind to talk. We use our eyes to see. We use our leg to stand, to walk, or to run, or to play soccer, or do many things. Our ears are used to hear. So also our inner organisms. The liver is doing its job. The heart is pumping the blood. The intestines does its job. The kidneys, everything. But there is one organism in the body that in most cases we tend to ignore its work. If I may go the biological way, that organism is called the bile, which in my language we call mwinu. That is the organism that is responsible in reacting to emotional violence. Anytime something wrong is done to our mind that makes us angry, the bile is there in our body to tell us that something unpleasant has come. And as much as we cannot suppress the mouth from talking or other organisms from doing the job, we cannot suppress the bile from reacting. And we must be honest to acknowledge that physical violence is as a result of emotional violence. If you don't do something that makes someone uncontrollably angry, the emotional violence that comes as a result, if the emotional violence are not there, it won't touch the bile to push someone into physical violence that results in form of killing or all sorts of things we are seeing. I'm not using this as an excuse to encourage violent people, but I can tell you that there are some aspects of human nature that you cannot deny its existence. Over the years, and in almost every society, everywhere in Africa and the world, a lot of complaint about violence against women has been going on. We've seen it in television, we've seen it in social media, but nobody has the courage to ask, why this violence on women? Because in every instance, there is something inside you that attracts some beautiful things and also ugly things. If you keep on developing the attitude that is likely to attract violence on you, that will be inevitable. Let me speak about women here, because in most cases, they are the victim of physical violence. We talk about physical violence because it is the one our eyes see that attracts our sympathy. But we don't want to talk about the emotional violence. What violates people emotionally? What are those women doing to those men that makes them to act? Because in life we have different nature. The women create a lot of emotional violence. They violate men every day. And in most cases, the society wants a man to become like a stone, who are dumb, who has no feelings. They expect men to endure all sorts of things that they must never react. And man in his nature is physically more imposing than women. And when that thing comes, that's when they lose their anger. And if we want to cure those violence on women, we should start from the women themselves. We need to carry out ideas or initiatives that tries to educate women about their responsibility in relationship. These are the responsibilities that women don't care about. They keep on messing up everywhere. I'm not here to defend men, but like I'm saying, I'm speaking based on the physical violence, because the physical violence is physically more destructive and women are the victim. But why are they attracted to those violence? What are they doing? I was having a bar where people come and eat and drink. I see what is going on in the bar on daily basis. What women does. You see some women who say they are married with children, dump their kids in the crèche and go on into drinking. The husband keep tracing, investigating what is going on. And one day he finds it in the bed, sitting with another man and drinking. And promising the men we're going to have nice sex after drinking. Only to find out that when a man gets drunk, the woman denies being married. When you find a woman in the bar, how can you know he's married or he's not married? And then the man starts spending his money, buying alcohol, anything that the woman desires. Only to find out that when the man goes to pee when he's drunk, then the woman sneaks out of the door and run away. The man comes out, is confused about his money for a woman who promised to have a nice life with him after drinking. In this instance, the man, the lady herself, has created an emotional violence on the man that is buying her alcohol and food and meat. And at the same time created an emotional violence on the husband whom she left at home. A man returns back in his home by 6, 7 or 8 o'clock only to find out that somebody called his wife at home is not there and is coming back home around 2 midnight or 3 midnight. And then such men might just stay like a stone who doesn't talk. In several instances, traditionally, men are known to be the breadwinner of the family. In most cases, we don't know what men went through, what men go through to be able to provide food for women and provide what they need to the best of their ability. I'm not saying men are angels, but I'm talking about the cause of excess violence on women in our society, more especially in South Africa. Not only South Africa, but across the world. You have this, many men go to steal, many go for robbery, they risk their life to provide food for the family. You can be doing that for many years, but just a little moment of time when things are a little bit different from the usual situation, then those women begin to show you a kind of picture that you never expected was existing. And when the men begin to think about how much he has done in the relationship, they lose their mind and act. Then what we do is to take them, go and put in prison. Do we really think that police brutality will stop violence in the society? Do we think that imprisonment is the right way to stop violence in the society? Well, if that is what we think, I urge the government to enlarge their prison, because more men are coming there. A lot of things have been orchestrated to harass men using the law. Men are the tool of production. They are next after God in terms of handling the world. Every relationship between men and women is captured in the image of the man in the spiritual world and by the forces of life. But now we have orchestrated a means of depriving man of the power to carry on upon him his responsibility to control his family the way he thinks fit. How do you expect that a man's family life should be controlled by a policeman who has no emotional attachment to his family, or a lawyer who don't even know what the men and women are going through among themselves? I don't want to complain a lot about this thing, because it's something even the policeman knows is happening in his personal life. The lawyer sees this in his personal life. The prison warders have seen this in the personal life. And there is no woman who does not know why a man is beating her or killing her. There is no woman who doesn't know the reason. They all know. Men can't just come down and be barbaric and butchering people like that. Because women are the next thing to men that gives them joy. You cannot go and acquire a woman near you. In the first place, a woman is not a lovely human being by nature. It is a man who loves. That is why the men are the one that proposes woman. Woman is an object of attraction. Only she has no love for anything. You have to propose her with your own love, and then she will consider whether to respond or not. Let's not deceive ourselves by telling you women are lovely. Women, I have a mother, I have a daughter, I also have a wife. But let's be realistic about the truth of life. Women are not loving creatures. They are made to be loved, to attract your love, and you propose them. Not them coming to propose you. So when a woman come and tell you, crying out, no. Let us be honest about this. We've seen a lot of cases where men fall victims of violence and robbery and imprisonment and doing hard jobs, dangerous jobs, in the attempt to get something to satisfy the women at home. And what is this so different between men and women is that the men need scarce resources to be able to carry their responsibility at home. That scarce resources comes in form of money. A woman doesn't need scarce resources, just the willingness of the mind to call the family, the children, and the husband a duty that the forces of life have given you to take care of to the best of your ability. In most cases, a woman don't need money to go and satisfy a man. Just that endurance, that call for duty. But in most cases, they are not willing to respond to that very duty. That is why we are seeing a lot of violence in our society. And if we cannot address the root cause of the matter, this violence is not going to stop. It will continue to engulf our society. And any society that loses control of their women is a lost society. Men are the power. We all have responsibilities. Men are the pillars of life. They are the tools in the hand of God for production. And there is never a time when men and women will become the same. You can't take black and white and mix it and say white must dominate or black must dominate. No, you lose the whiteness and lose the blackness, and what you get there is gray or any other color confusion. Because when you mix them together, it will neither be white or black. You don't mix women together in their position and responsibilities that they are made to carry in life. Each of them have their own stand. Our forefathers know this and begin to apportion responsibilities according to gender. But the modern world has seen themselves as people who are civilized, who knows too much, that they have to twist the makings of God and impose a situation that is not welcomed by the forces of life. And the consequence is what? Violence that we see every day in our society. And in most cases, women don't even know why they are women. Let me not be too philosophical here. Let me use the two forces of life called left and right. The men are the right, the women are the left. We call sometimes yin-yang principle as above, so below. Above and below will never be the same. Above remain below, reflecting here, the other one reflecting the other side. We have what we call the spiritual and the material aspect of life. In that case, the man represents the material, which is up. The man represents the spiritual, which is up. And the woman represents the material, which is down. That is why even in the position of having sex in a traditional manner, the woman is always at the down, the man is on top. Because the man is the spiritual principle. That is what he represents. The woman is the material. So when you see that someone incarnates into flesh, it means that that woman has a lot of materialistic tendencies. And the forces of life bring you into the world to give you the obligation, go to the material world, enjoy this very thing, but don't allow those materialistic things to take over the control of your life. Go and enjoy it, but conquer it so that it doesn't take control of you. That is the spiritual responsibility that the woman is given when they are coming into the world. But we came here and forget about whom we are. A woman has become something. You just need to bring one bottle of beer or juice or sweet things like a chicken, garnish it on the table, and then a woman follows you. She can even condemn the future of the husband, condemn the future of the children in the pursuit of a chicken or a beer. Everything in this world, materialistic is them. Is hairstyle, is this one, earrings. They never get satisfied of anything. That is the nature of a woman, to never get satisfied with the materialistic need. Perfumes, even if you make a toilet today and put it nice, if you rub it, you look nice to attract material things, a woman will buy it. These are people who are willing to mortgage their future and destroy anything in pursuit of material, useless material enjoyment. They are not there to endure what life asks them to come and endure. Namely, go and enjoy the material world, but don't allow it to take control of you. But each time a women are put in test, in that is to see how much they respond to that, they fell down and abandon their responsibility. My father used to tell me that a woman is not something you can plan for. It's not someone you plan her future for, because they will always respond to mess. A lot of us have been paying a lot of money for our daughter, trying to teach them at school, trying to make their life nice or whatever we think with you, only to find that the girl grows up and have her breast then in a different way. All the budget you make in previous house goes down the drain. Same thing applies to men and the husbands, in the home and in the boyfriend places, everywhere. But we don't have to talk long here. In our bid to build a new Africa, we are having also a program that we put in place that will be carried out through our sister organization called the Grand Assembly of Africa, through its Temple of Harmony activities. It will be a combination of education of civility and spirituality and morality, because people need to be made known the real purpose of what they come to do in the world. What do they represent within the world? It is the absence of this very knowledge that people are failing to understand their position in nature. They fall down to all sorts of temptations that is presented to them in pursuit of sweet and chewing gum and the hairpiece and all sorts of nonsense. So we've put something in place which, as soon as we begin, we will carry it out for those who really care about their own life and their own future, so that they can have a means to get some lessons that will help them to harmonize themselves and live in peace. Because once we understand our responsibility, every responsibility entails both joy and pain. But what we do is to try to push the pain. No, that thing is not going. That pain you are feeling is the moment of test that determines how much you are prepared to respect the forces of life and build your spiritual power and your power of evolution. But in most cases, those moments of difficulty is the moment when we fail. Because today, what we inherited from Western colonial masters is a prison punishment. No knowledge, no spirituality. Our own spirituality has even been destroyed. No morality. It's all about, even our government, every day is economic growth, economic what, economy. This is what we hear. Nobody talks about the moral fabric of the society. Instead, we create means that keep on destroying them. Even the nations that are trying to maintain their own, like the Arab world, they are facing constant attack from the imperialists. Women liberation, as if women are in prison. And if indeed women are in prison, it's not men that imprisoned women. It is the responsibility that tells them to be serene. Go there and practice serenity. Don't allow yourself to be carried away by reckless things of the material world. But that's where all women are failing. And we think it's a civilization that must be carried out, that women should let loose to do whatever they want. But those bonds that keep men and women together is not something you can break. It is very strong. A good soul, an advanced soul, will learn to respect it for what it is, and you will live in peace. Once again, violence, there is something in you that you have created that is attracting that very violence. If you learn to live honestly, if you learn self-control, you can escape the violence. But as long as you keep on building suspiciousness in your relationship with your father or with your brother or with anybody, building frustrations, that thing called violence, I'm not advocating for it. I don't even believe it is the best way to solve problems, but it's part of what makes our life. If we don't control ourselves, see how we build our life, be honest as much and great as we can, that violence will be there. It will never be stopped by imprisonment. It will never be stopped by police brutality. Lawyers can never stop it. That thing is there. It's part of our human nature to express our unpleasantness. Like I'm saying, you may be having a lot of doing things, your fridge is full with food, wine, and whatever. At some period, what you call the moment of truth comes in the life of a man. It also affects the woman. The moment of truth, the difficult moment in the life of a man, is not only made to test the man, it's also made to test the woman who is your partner, to see how much she can adjust to those period that calls for high level of morality. And that's when we fail. And when the men think about how much they have done, so much pain they have undertaken in their life to be able to provide for family, sometimes they get angry and overreact. And then what we do is to take them, go and put in prison. In most cases, we don't have the courage to publish the reason why men act in that way. The only thing we make is to close it down. Men are violence. Men are this. Tell me which man will use his money or his wealth or sweat, because nothing can give a man joy if there is no woman in his life. Why would you go and use the money to acquire a punching bag if that woman is behaving well? I don't want to put all the blames about women, but like I'm saying, they are the victims of physical violence, and physical violence is alarming. But we don't ask why this physical violence, what is promoting it, what is provoking it. If we don't deal with the root cause of this very matter, that thing will persist. So let me repeat here in a simple way. The People's Movement for African Unity, in our mandate to build a new Africa, has put a program in place that will be carried out. We don't want to build Africa in a manner that a single individual will be called the all. We want the knowledge is already there. God in heaven, from the day he created mankind on earth, is the day that he has delegated moral principles that will help us to evolve better as his children. Those ancient knowledge are there. It is written even right inside our mind. But we ignore it. We want, through the Grand Assembly of Africa, through the Temple of Harmony, to begin the process of regaining those moral principles that are there, to teach it to our people so they will understand the true sense of life and obey the dictates that life presents to us. That is when the physical violence will gradually go down on its own. And if you think you can do otherwise with your physical power, you are training your police officers, your whatever, you think that is what you can use to control morality in human life, you're making a mistake. We've seen several times where police himself that is responsible in arresting women kill their own wife and children, and in a fear of facing the law, they shoot themselves. You can't tell me that a policeman who has used his resources for many years, rearing and growing children, can just stand up like that and kill his wife and children and kill himself just because he loves killing or monster, because he's got a gun. There is something behind it. Most of the time we have seen women, they take pregnant from another place and go and tell you this man is the father, because they see the man is a businessman where he can get money. But the men keep telling a child that he does not know, only to find out after several years that the child doesn't belong to him. We have many children who are having 2, 3 fathers without knowing. Only the mother knows what they're doing with those children. You go take one child, you present it to 3 different men, telling them you are the father because he's sleeping there, he's sleeping there, he's sleeping the other side. Then one child has 4 fathers, all of them in a bid to go and grab money here, grab money. What for? Material enjoyment. Because we are living in a world of cosmetics and lipstick and nice cars and cell phones. Cell phone has even made it worse because that cell phone has become a workshop where all sorts of things happen. They open Facebook account with different names, open Twitter account and chatting all sorts of things. We are made to know now that for a woman to wash a man's clothes means imprisonment that must not be allowed. To assist a man to evolve, it's something that is no longer allowed. You have a situation where you come back home and your wife cannot even cook food because she's busy drinking in the bar. And you wonder, this is someone that I'm struggling to get money to feed. So why does she has the money to buy a cell phone that costs 3,000 rand, servicing it with constant airtime and data? But this is somebody, in fact, you yourself are struggling to buy data and data. But you open up your phone, it's got data here and there and the airtime, chatting every time. The phone is even more important than cooking food or cleaning house. You come to your house and see dust everywhere. Most men are undergoing this. Let's help to break the silence. Let us help ourselves in doing the correct thing. I'm not here to speak against women. I have a mother, and I'm born of a mother. I have a daughter, whom I will one day love to see her living in peace in her marital life. But if we don't put the correct situation in place, those who love to see your child living a good marital life, it's only a wishful thinking until we put the right principle that will make that a reality in practice. So let me stop here. If you have the ears and hear it, let's stop being hypocritical. Let's stop holding one gender responsible for all the violence of the society. Something is provoking that very violence. There is something there. You can't cheat the forces of nature. The forces of cause and effect is there. Let's learn to respect life. Let's learn to understand the world we come into is an examination hall. It's not just a place where we come to enjoy material things. There are moments of test. That moment of test is very important for us to demonstrate our willingness, our endurance, our perseverance, our serenity of our mind, the serenity of the mind, to be careful in what we do, and then we will live a peaceful, respectful life. But if you cannot do that, expect the worst. Be honest to yourself, and let us build a good Africa, and try to be an example to the rest of the world.